Hi there folks, welcome back to Northwest Bushcraft. Today I've been really lucky to have received the brand new 2012 Frontline Hammock from DD Hammocks. Now this hasn't gone into the shops yet, so I think it's due out mid to end of March this year, 2012. But before I go any further, I'd like to point out that Nick from DD Hammocks sent me this hammock up to review and said when I finish with it I can keep it for free. However, I'm a bit uncomfortable about doing reviews on products and then being able to get them for free, because I don't think it gives an accurate reflection of what I really feel about the product. So just to let you know, what I've done is I've actually donated the full retail price of this hammock, which is £49, to the Help for Heroes charity. So they'll benefit from it and everyone's a winner. Okay, so let's have a look at the hammock itself. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Frontline Hammocks from DD, you'll know that it's actually a really good product. I've got one of these myself. I've been using it for a long time, and I think I've got the 2010 model, I think. And for those of you that have seen my other videos on Northwest Bushcraft channel on YouTube, you'll have seen me using the Frontline Hammock. Now, it's got all the standard features. It's got a double base layer in the bottom here, so inside there you can put a sleep mat, a thermarest, anything like that, bedroll in there, and then it all fastens up with 2 or 3 Velcro fasteners down the outside. Now the product itself underneath is made from 180T polyester. Now the Frontline hammock is the breathable one, and then I think you've got the traveller hammock as well, which is a waterproof base on it. Now there's been 2 or 3 new additions to the new Frontline hammock for 2012, but we'll have a look at those in a minute. But to start with, let's run through some of the standard features. In total, the hammock itself weighs a little over 800 grams, and then you've got 10 meters of webbing that comes with it as well, all included in the price, and that I think is about 220 grams. Now there's an extra bit that we'll come on to in a minute that adds that's 58 grams onto the weight, so all in all a little over a kilo, and you've got a full sleep system. Now the eagle-eyed amongst you that are used to DD hammocks, and especially the Frontline hammock, will notice straight away that the mosquito net has changed, more so in colour than anything else. Now my own one, the Frontline hammock, is a green mosquito net on it, and this one's black. Now DD Hammocks did some research on it, and apparently when you're laid inside the hammock, it's easier to look out, especially on an evening, through a black mesh than it is through a green one. The green one tends to give a bit of a haze to everything you're looking at, whereas the black one, much easier to have a look through. And what I'll do in a sec is hopefully do like a side-by-side comparison for you, so you can see, hopefully the camera will pick it up looking outside of the black one and looking from the outside of the green one. So let's move on a bit closer and have a look at some of the new additions for this year. Okay, so one of the new key features of the 2012 model is this pocket that comes on top. Now traditionally in the 2010 model you had 5 of these webbing loops that went across the top of the mosquito net, and the idea was you got a fairly long stick, cleaned off all the nibs, worked your way through all the holes, and then suspended it onto a line above, and that kept the mosquito net off of your face and your feet. In the 2012 model they've got this polyester pocket here, and it's all sealed up at one end, and there's quite a strong Velcro closure at the other end, and included is 2 of these tent pole type poles, and they come with a piece of shot cord in the middle, break down in half for ease of use, and then just pop together again quite simply. Now the best way I've found on testing this to get these in is, rather than having the hammock kind of under tension like this, release off the tension so that it's nice and baggy, and then open up the closure on this end, get the pole, poke it in, quite simply slides all the way down to there. That fits inside absolutely perfect. Close up the Velcro, and there we go. Safe inside there. Pull this here, then you get the shot cord included as well. I think it's 6 meters of shot cord, elastic shot cord to use. Tie it onto here with a prusik knot, pull that across to increase the tension, and there you go. Mosquito nets off your face. Really clever idea, really simple, and I think it's a winner every time. If you're in an environment where you haven't got access to anything that could go in there, this is great. And I say for 58 grams for the pair of them, once it's in your pack you won't even realise they're there. It's absolutely fantastic idea. The 3 loops are still there. If for any reason this pole breaks in the future, they've still included 3 of the loops, so you can go back to your original method of using a stick inside. But I think this is absolutely fantastic. It's brilliant. Okay, so the third new key feature on the 2012 Frontline Hammock from DD Hammocks is the inclusion of these tabs here. Now there's 4 of these in total, and the idea is you can actually take it from being in a hammock configuration, put a tent peg in each one of these and put it onto the ground so you can have it in a bivvy bag configuration. Now obviously when it's in a hammock configuration, don't go hanging loads of heavy gear off of these. It's not what it's designed for. So let's put it on the floor, have a look at what it looks like, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so here we've got the hammock set up in its bivvy bag configuration. Obviously, you're in an environment where you've maybe got no trees. I know a lot of the guys abroad use these in the forces. So what we've got here is we've got it set up, got a tent peg in each one of the 4 corners. There's the tent pegs themselves aren't included in the price of the hammock itself, but for what they cost, it's just a few pence. Alternatively, if you haven't got tent pegs, use some sticks, jam it in, it'll be absolutely fine. Now, so if you're in an environment where you have no trees, you could do what we've done here and actually jam 2 sticks, one either end of the hammock, sling your utility line above it, and then suspend the mosquito net above that. Now, as I said before, the underlay isn't waterproof. It's a breathable fabric. It's polyester, so it's not rocket science to assume that if you're going to sleep in this as a bivvy bag, you'd want to put something waterproof underneath it, either your roll mat, a piece of ground sheet, anything like that. Put that underneath just to allow the moisture just to stay away from your body. Nothing worse than having a cold, wet back. Now, what I'm surprised at with this when I laid it out, because I've never used it in a hammock configuration, is actually how wide this is. And I think if you were lucky enough, you could probably get 2 people in there if you caught yourself lucky. So the other thing you could do is if it is going to rain, if there's a chance of rain, you'd obviously either need to sling a tarp above this, use this line here to put a tarp over the top, or if needs be, if in a dire situation, you could crawl inside the 2 layers underneath, and that would allow you an element of protection. Now, the only not criticism I would make, but maybe recommendation for future, is on either end of the ground sheet, or either end of the hammock rather, you can maybe put an additional loop for tent pegs, so you could actually peg out either end as well, because I think that this spare material at the end that would ordinarily be gathered up when you're in a hammock is perhaps, I don't know, maybe a bit of a water trap, quite possibly, I don't know. But all in all, I think it's an absolutely fantastic product. I'm really impressed with it. So I've used DD Hammock stuff before, never had an issue with it. The build quality is fantastic. I've had a good poke and a prod around this thing. There's no loose stitching, everything's double, triple stitched wherever it needs to be. Really clever stuff. And I think with the new additions of the ridge poles in the mosquito net, absolutely fantastic. So, yep, great stuff, well done. So, thanks indeed for watching. Please feel free to comment or subscribe to Northwest Bushcraft. Take care and we'll see you soon.